A fiery showdown. Bonnie and Sarah clash over Xander on a tense afternoon at the Kiriakis' mansion. Emotions boil over as two strong-willed women, Bonnie Kiriakis and Sarah Horton, engage in a fierce confrontation centered around the man who once shattered Sarah's heart, Xander Kiriakis. This isn't a gentle heart-to-heart or a quiet exchange of advice. This time, Bonnie comes in with the fierce determination of someone who's lived through heartbreak, regret, and ultimately redemption in love. She sees the conflict in Sarah's eyes, the pain of old wounds and the flicker of unresolved feelings, and decides she can no longer stand by while the young woman she sees as a daughter pushes happiness away. Sarah, still reeling from her painful breakup with Xander, the man who once vowed her forever, has closed off her heart. She insists she can't keep forgiving the same mistakes over and over again. But Bonnie, whose own love story with Justin Kiriakis was anything but smooth, disagrees. She believes that true love is messy, imperfect, and absolutely worth fighting for. What starts as heartfelt advice quickly spirals into a heated argument. Inside the lavish yet emotionally charged living room, past and present collide with explosive force. Sarah holds her ground, refusing to revisit old pain, while Bonnie refuses to give up on what she believes is a second chance at love. What neither of them knows is that their confrontation marks the beginning of a painful twist. Bonnie's warning is about to come true. Gwen is back in Salem with a kiss that will shatter everything. And soon, Sarah will be forced to face the very thing she fears most, that she turned away from love just a little too late. Bonnie's heartfelt plea, a case for Xander. Once the fuss over her injury subsides, Bonnie seizes the moment to sit Sarah down for a heart-to-heart. The two women, surrounded by the opulent decor of the Kiriakis' living room, engage in a conversation that quickly escalates into a heated argument. Bonnie, with her unwavering belief in love's redemptive power, presses Sarah to reconsider her stance on Xander. He's made mistakes, Sarah, Bonnie says, her voice trembling with conviction, but who hasn't? That man loves you, and deep down, you know you still love him. Bonnie's words are rooted in her own experiences. Her marriage to Justin was far from smooth, marked by misunderstandings, betrayals, and moments of doubt. Yet, their love endured, proving to Bonnie that even the most flawed relationships can be salvaged with forgiveness and effort. She sees parallels in Sarah and Xander's story, a love story tested by Xander's impulsive decisions, shady business dealings, and a history of letting Sarah down. Bonnie argues that Xander's heart, despite its rough edges, belongs to Sarah, and that giving him another chance could lead to the happiness they both deserve. Sarah, however, is not so easily swayed. Her face tightens as she recounts the pain Xander has caused, his lies, his involvement with questionable characters, and the heartbreak of their recent breakup. I can't keep doing this, Sarah says, her voice cracking with emotion. Every time I let him in, he breaks my trust. I deserve better. Sarah's resolve is firm, her heart hardened by the scars of their past. She's focused on rebuilding her life, co-parenting their daughter, Victoria, and protecting herself from further hurt. Bonnie's insistence feels like pressure, and the argument grows tense, with both women standing their ground. Facing a difficult reality, Bonnie, undeterred by Sarah's resistance, pushes harder, forcing Sarah to confront a difficult reality. Love is never perfect, and Xander's flaws don't erase the bond they share. You're scared, Sarah, and I get it, Bonnie says, her eyes softening. But shutting him out means shutting out the chance for something real. He's fighting for you and Victoria. Isn't that worth something? Bonnie's words strike a chord, stirring memories of happier times when Xander's love felt like a lifeline. For a moment, Sarah wavers, her heart torn between fear and hope. Bonnie's own complicated love story with Justin gives her insight into Sarah's struggle. She recalls the days when she doubted Justin's commitment, when their differences seemed insurmountable. Yet, they found their way back to each other, building a life together despite the odds. Bonnie believes Sarah and Xander could do the same, if only Sarah would open her heart. Her plea is heartfelt, urging Sarah to see Xander not just as the man who hurt her, but as the man who's trying to be better for her and their daughter. Reluctantly, Sarah agrees to consider Bonnie's advice. The idea of giving Xander another chance feels daunting, but Bonnie's sincerity and her own lingering feelings for Xander plant a seed of doubt. Could she forgive him? Could they rebuild what they had? Sarah promises to think it over, unaware that fate is about to throw a wrench into her plans. Gwen's shocking return. A kiss that changes everything. Just as Sarah begins to soften, the drama escalates with the return of Gwen Rizek, Xander's former flame and a master manipulator. Gwen's arrival in Salem, announced in the July 7, 2025 episode, is a bombshell. She strides into town with the Horton diamonds around her neck, a fortune from her divorce, and a secret agenda as the mastermind behind E.J.D. Mara's hospital takeover. Her visit to Xander, however, is personal and explosive. In a moment that sends shockwaves through Salem, Gwen shares a passionate kiss with Xander, reigniting their fiery chemistry. Xander, caught off guard, kisses her back, swept up in the intensity of the moment. The spark between them is undeniable, a reminder of their passionate past. But as the kiss lingers, Xander's mind races. Does he want to rekindle this relationship, knowing Gwen's history of deception? Or will he pull back, remembering his love for Sarah and his commitment to their daughter? Gwen, for her part, is likely hoping to draw Xander back into her orbit. Her kiss is both a genuine expression of lingering feelings and a strategic move. As spoilers suggest, Gwen may be plotting with Vivian Alamein, Louise Sorrell, to target the Kiriakis family with Xander's Titan empire in her sights. Seducing Xander could be a way to weaken his defenses, gaining access to his corporate secrets, or sowing discord in his personal life. If Xander slams on the brakes, Gwen might be disappointed, but her cunning nature suggests she'll seize future opportunities to pursue him. Sarah's heartbreak and resolve. News of Gwen's kiss with Xander reaches Sarah, shattering the fragile hope Bonnie had instilled. The betrayal feels like a fresh wound, confirming Sarah's worst fears about Xander's reliability. Despite Bonnie's passionate plea, Sarah doubles down on her refusal to give Xander another chance. "I was a fool to even consider it," she tells Bonnie, her voice thick with anger and hurt. "He'll never change." Bonnie, devastated by the turn of events, tries to reason with Sarah, arguing that Xander's kiss with Gwen doesn't negate his love for her. "He's confused, Sarah, just like you are," Bonnie pleads. "Don't let Gwen win by walking away." But Sarah's trust is broken, and she's determined to protect herself and Victoria from further pain. The argument between Bonnie and Sarah grows even more heated, with Sarah accusing Bonnie of meddling and Bonnie insisting that love is worth fighting for. The stakes: love, trust, and Titans. Future. The clash between Bonnie and Sarah underscores the high stakes of Xander's choices. His role as Titan's CEO makes him a target for Gwen's schemes, especially if she's working with Vivian to undermine the Kiriakis family. A rekindled romance with Gwen could jeopardize his leadership, drawing him into her web of deception and threatening Titan's stability. Conversely, rejecting Gwen and fighting for Sarah could redeem him, but only if Sarah can overcome her doubts. For Sarah, the decision is deeply personal. Giving Xander another chance means risking her heart again, a prospect made even more daunting by Gwen's return. Bonnie's advice, born from her own experiences, challenges Sarah to weigh love against fear, but Gwen's kiss tips the scales toward caution. The drama promises to escalate, with Gwen's agenda potentially tied to the hospital takeover and a vendetta against the Kiriakis, adding layers of intrigue. Conclusion: a battle for the heart of Salem. As Days of Our Lives unfolds, the Kiriakis mansion remains a battleground for love, loyalty, and betrayal. Bonnie's heartfelt push for Sarah to give Xander another chance collides with Sarah's resolve to protect herself, while Gwen's explosive return threatens to upend everything. Will Xander choose Sarah, proving Bonnie right, or fall into Gwen's trap, breaking Sarah's heart for good? With Titan's future and Salem's power dynamics hanging in the balance, this drama is far from over. For fans who've followed the twists and turns of Salem's beloved characters, this storyline is a testament to the enduring power of love and the chaos it can unleash. Stay tuned to Days of Our Lives as Bonnie, Sarah, and Xander navigate this emotional storm, with Gwen's kiss setting the stage for a summer of heartbreak and revelation. Leo and Javi's journey to fatherhood begins with chaos, laughter, and a colicky surprise on Days of Our Lives in a recent emotionally charged and delightfully chaotic episode of Days of Our Lives. Viewers were treated to a heartwarming yet tumultuous beginning to Leo Stark and Javi Calderon's unexpected journey into fatherhood. What started as a quiet day in Salem quickly turned into a whirlwind of baby cries, hospital runs, emotional confessions, and cake-fueled reflections as two unlikely men began stepping into their roles as first-time dads. Let's take a deeper dive into the episode that left fans both laughing and tearing up, as Leo and Javi's bond grows stronger in the face of sleepless nights and colic-induced panic. Javi's worry, Kayla's calm. The episode opens at the hospital where Javi Calderon is pacing nervously in the hallway, clearly overwhelmed and unsure what to do. His partner, Leo, is at home trying to manage their newly adopted baby, Tesoro, and Javi feels helpless being away from them. The heat is sweltering and the air is thick with both tension and humidity, making the atmosphere even more oppressive. When Dr. Kayla Brady walks by, Javi jumps at the opportunity to get some reassurance. Kayla, calm as always, tells him that his partner, worn out but hanging in there, is doing fine. She gently assures him that exhaustion is normal at this stage, especially in the middle of a heat wave with a brand new baby in the picture. The conversation shifts quickly to the baby, and Kayla smiles when Javi refers to Tesoro as our perfect little angel. The warmth in Javi's voice reveals just how much he's already bonded with the child in such a short time. It's clear. Beneath the nerves, he's already wrapped around Tesoro's tiny finger. Leo's panic at home. Meanwhile, back at the apartment, Leo is in full-blown dad mode, though he's more frantic than functional. Tesoro won't stop crying, and Leo, with sweat on his brow and worry in his heart, is desperately trying to soothe the baby. Gabby Hernandez is there, attempting to offer guidance, but her advice only seems to frustrate Leo further. To make matters worse, Ariana Horton, who's also in the apartment, storms out in a huff. The tension is rising, and Leo begins to doubt himself. What if something's wrong with him? He asks, on the verge of tears. Gabby does her best to calm both Leo and Tesoro, but it's clear that Leo is spiraling. Finally, Leo decides he can't take any chances. He grabs Tesoro and rushes off to the hospital, determined to find out what's wrong and ensure the baby gets the care he needs. A diagnosis and a dose of reality. Back at University Hospital, Kayla greets Leo and quickly checks on Tesoro. After a thorough examination, she delivers the diagnosis with a mix of relief and amusement. It's just colic. Leo, visibly relieved, lets out a long breath. But what surprises Kayla most isn't just the baby's condition, it's Leo himself. Watching him cradle Tesoro, whisper softly to him, and respond with such genuine concern, Kayla sees a completely new side of the flamboyant and often self-centered Leo Stark. This is a man in full dad mode, protective, loving, and deeply invested. Kayla goes to retrieve some specialized baby formula to help ease the colic but is stopped short. Due to recent hospital budget cuts, courtesy of E.J. DiMera's controversial restructuring, she's unable to provide it. She apologizes, frustrated by how politics have crept into pediatric care. Just then, Javi returns, but the sight of Leo cradling a fussy baby stops him in his tracks. For a moment, he panics, worried something serious has happened. Leo quickly reassures him, explaining what Kayla said, and the two men, now bonded by shared panic and parental concern, decide to head out together to find the right formula for Tesoro. Late-night reflections and new beginnings. As the sun sets over Salem and the city begins to cool, Leo and Javi sit together in the town plaza, exhausted but oddly energized by the day's events. The chaos of their first full day as parents has finally started to settle, giving them space to breathe and reflect. They grab some cake from a nearby vendor, treating themselves to a well-deserved sugar break. With Tesoro finally asleep, the conversation turns not just to the baby but to the events shaking up the rest of Salem. Leo, never one to stay away from drama for long, brings up Johnny DiMera's shocking arrest. He didn't shoot EJ, Leo says firmly, licking frosting from his finger. There's more to this story, and I'm going to find out what it is. Javi chuckles, shaking his head. You have such a big heart, Leo, he says warmly. It's a genuine compliment, and a sign that Javi sees past Leo's outrageous antics to the man who's now becoming a father right before his eyes. Leo rolls his eyes playfully. Oh, please. Gwen's return? Trouble on the horizon? Just as the two men share a quiet moment of camaraderie, a familiar voice cuts through the air like a knife. Hello, Maddie. Leo stiffens. That voice, sarcastic, sharp, and unmistakable, belongs to Gwen Rizek. Dressed to kill and looking as smug as ever, Gwen walks up behind the couple, eyeing Leo with that knowing smirk she always wears when she's about to stir up trouble. Her sudden appearance raises immediate questions. What is she doing back in Salem? And more importantly, what does she want with Leo now that he's starting this new chapter of his life? A future full of surprises as the episode ends. It's clear that Leo and Javi's road to fatherhood won't be smooth, but it will be filled with passion, surprises, and the kind of emotional depth that Days of Our Lives delivers best. From frantic hospital runs and late-night feedings to emotional breakthroughs and shocking reunions, Leo and Javi are embarking on a journey that promises to test their love, their patience, and their resilience. But after just one day, one thing is certain: they're in it together. And for longtime fans, it's a joy to watch two characters with such different pasts find common ground in the most unexpected of ways, through the cries and coos of a colicky baby named Tesoro. Stay tuned, because in Salem, every lullaby is just a moment before the next storm.